show your face. Show your face, please, with sugar on top.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, NoLimit Kyro is going viral again, but this time it has nothing to do with his social media antics or making threats to any of his ops. This time it's seeming more serious, where we don't know Kyro for getting locked up too much like a lot of these guys that are a part of the drill culture. Kyro usually keeps a low profile, and even though he may be known for handling business, he's more into making money, playing around, rather than talking about spinning and drilling all day. But this time is no longer all jokes and games, as Kyro have been arrested and hit with some serious charges involving a firearm with a switch attachment on it, along with a stolen vehicle. Seeing the way some of these guys get on social media and show their weapons, you would think that is legal, or you would at least think that they have legal carrying permits, because else not, they're just making themselves an easy target. But then again, most of the guys flashing weapons on social media don't feel that they're being watched at all, and then you come across someone like Vaughn off 1700 who even feels that police can't use videos or anything on social media to tie you to a crime in the court of law. Hypothetically speaking, let's say that was true. Whether you're being convicted or not, flashing weapons and alluding to crime period just puts a mark on your back unnecessarily and make you an easy target for law enforcement. History has taught us that even though we think law enforcement isn't on social media watching, whether it's on Instagram lives or YouTube videos, they actually are, and they're actually using it against some of these artists whenever it's needed. One perfect example of this is when Boosie was seen on live by police with a firearm in his waistband. They let him leave the function that he was at after spotting him with the firearm during someone's live stream in which they was watching, and when he got a certain distance, they pulled the car over for a quote-unquote traffic infraction and used that as an excuse to search the car for the weapon. It's said that someone who Boosie was with took the rap for it, but this is just one example showing you how they are watching, and you never know when they'll strike. And look how they did it. They made it seem like it was some type of traffic infraction when they already knew the main reason why they was pulling him over, which is because they seen a firearm on his waistband, and the ironic part of it all, it wasn't even Boosie's live that they was tuned into. It was somebody else, and they just happened to see him, and knowing that Boosie is a convicted felon and not supposed to be carrying a firearm. Moral of the story, you never know when or who they're watching, but they are, and it can be used against you if they really need it. Now, one look on social media, seeing NoLimit Kyro videos or randomly on live, you could spot Kyro with plenty of firearms. You would think that being that he's already served time for weapons possession back when he was caught up in 2015, that he'll be more careful. Not to mention, when you get caught up for a similar charge that you already have priors for, they tend to not be so lenient on you if you get arrested for a similar charge again, especially being a convicted felon. Now it looks like Kyro will learn the hard way, because he was recently just arrested for a slew of serious charges and is currently being held without bond. And usually when they hold you without bond, it's not looking too good. But now that I think about it, I always say that it's not looking too good for these guys. They might get a bunch of time for this one, but these days I can't even say that, because every time I do, one of these guys get caught up in something serious, and somehow, some way, they end up coming out in less time than expected. Now, I don't know if maybe the laws in Chicago are just that lenient when it comes to firearms, but this has happened a few times. Last time I can remember is with Little Zay Osama. Although he's currently incarcerated or waiting the process on his most recent case, when he was arrested for leaving the firearm with the switch attachment in the Uber back in New York, we all thought he was done, being that he has priors and the gun laws are already intense. Let alone leaving a switch attachment to it which makes it federal. But lo and behold, he was out shortly after following his arrest that we all seen while he was on live. Then you got Chicago artist Boss Top, who is currently incarcerated for felony possession and use of a firearm, who also had prior convictions of a similar charge, and recently we seen him only get 5 years for it. Now I always tell y'all I don't wish jail or death on anybody, so if these guys could figure a way to get around the system and don't do as much jail time as expected, then it's a good look for these guys. But the whole point was just to highlight that usually when we think it's over for these guys due to the severeness of these charges, sometimes we aren't always right. By the way, it's rumored that Borsai may be released next year in 2025, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now getting back to NoLimit Kyro, here's the charges that he's currently facing after being taken into custody without bond. The first one would be unlawful use of a weapon in possession by a felon. The second one would be receiving or possessing a stolen vehicle. The third one would be parking prohibited standing, which they was kind of being petty for that one. The fourth would be driver's license expired more than a year. The fifth would be a criminal damage to property. Sixth would be fleeing, attempting to elude officers. And the seventh is another unlawful use of a weapon in possession by a felon charge, but this time it involved a machine gun. Now the fact that his driver's license was expired, he was in a stolen vehicle and had weapons with switch attachments on it, just goes to show you that he had no intentions on stopping for CPD in the first place. I tried searching for an article on the situation but couldn't find it because I wanted to know more details surrounding this case. I wanted to know what made them stop him in the first place and what led to the arrest from the police officer's point of view. Did they already have knowledge that he would be in that specific car? Was it a confidential informant? Was he breaking a parking or traffic violation that made them try to stop his car? Was it due to his tints? What was it? Now the only thing I could think of is maybe they already had knowledge that the car was stolen when they ran his plates, or maybe he passed a license plate reader and that's what alerted them onto his car. Other than that, I don't have any other idea on why they may have been on him. I see people in the comments on some of the blogs where this was posted and they're asking things such as, why would he run? What you mean why? I get it. Some people are saying sometimes if you act cool, you may be able to finesse the police, but if you just run off site, then you kind of make it weird. But here's 2 reasons why it wouldn't make sense for him to stop at all. For one, his license was expired, so that's already probable cause to search the car and arrest him. But then 2, he was in a stolen vehicle. So straight out the gate, he didn't have no wins regardless, causing him to have to flee and at least try to get away, knowing what he had in the car. Now judging from the description of how he was caught up, where he had a stolen car, also known as a striker, along with the arsenal of weapons, seemed like he was going on the drill. This would make sense because another No Limit member by the name of Calvin was just recently shot and unalived as he was caught between the war between the Venezuelan immigrants and some of the residents in Chicago. I'm not sure if y'all been updated with what's going on right now in Chicago, but a lot of the immigrants are at war with the residents, and if you thought it was already violence in Chicago, it's getting even worse. So judging from Kyro having all the elements of going on a drill, maybe he was trying to get retaliation, maybe not. Now I'm not sure, but I personally think there's no way he would put himself in a position like that to crash out for literally no reason when he's definitely one of the ones that know better. Now some may also say, why would he want to be going on a drill and doing anything? He's affiliated with G Herbo, Bibby and them. Why would he be the one doing that? However, sometimes it's not even about who these guys are. Sometimes it could just be an adrenaline rush or just them wanting to get active in the field for whatever reason. We may not know. But anyway, y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. And I'm out.